about the idea of personalising your diet to your individual genetics, and there are many companies that are now offering this type of service. We're all individuals with individual biology, and it certainly sounds plausible, but is it backed by science? My name is Dr. Natalie Colson Shilton, and I'm a nutritionist, dietitian, geneticist. In this video, I'm going to answer that question. If you Google the term nutrigenomics, you'll get hundreds, if not thousands, of hits. But what does the word actually mean? Nutrigenomics is an umbrella term used to describe the interaction of genetic variability with our diet, also known as nutrigenetics. Each of us have around 25,000 genes that code for different proteins, like the instructions in a cookbook. Many of these proteins are enzymes involved in pathways that break down vitamins and minerals, which we call micronutrients, or break down fats and proteins or carbs, which we call macronutrients, or other substances such as caffeine. Some have varied roles, while others we're yet to learn what they do. Many of us have variations in these genes which may affect the way the protein works. Perhaps it's a little less effective at breaking down a certain nutrient because of a variation in the DNA code. But it's important to consider that usually these proteins don't work in isolation. They're often one step in a complex pathway, and there may be compensation elsewhere. So how do we test if this variability actually makes a difference, such as making us more susceptible to disease? If we know this information, then surely we can personalise our diets or lifestyle according to this variability. Well, we can look at a group of people retrospectively to see if their diet has interacted with their individual genes to produce an outcome, such as increased risk of disease. Sometimes that can be difficult as there are many other factors that can interfere, even lifestyle factors such as exercise. So it can be challenging to tease out the real effect if there is one. Another thing we can do is have people follow a particular diet and then look at the outcome. For example, weight loss based on a certain diet and genetic variability. However, these studies can be challenging as we need to create a very controlled environment. For example, asking people to strictly adhere to a certain diet, and then researchers determining how long it takes to see an effect, if any, and then following up long term to see if the effect is maintained. Nevertheless, from these and other types of human genetic studies, we have learned some important information. For example, the discovery is what is termed the obesity gene, where certain variations in the gene increases the risk of developing obesity. But not everyone with that variation is obese or develops obesity. So there are other factors at play, such as diet and lifestyle. Oftentimes, healthy eating and lifestyle override any genetic variability, so genetic knowledge may not always be meaningful. You see, it's way more complex than sometimes suggested. Yes, there is certainly science behind nutrigenomics, but each discovery is usually one piece of a large jigsaw puzzle. Nutrigenomics tests need to be carefully interpreted within the context of all other related aspects of an individual. In other words, fully personalised nutrition based on genetic variability requires firstly information on an individual's unique genetic code, and secondly and importantly, interpretation within the context of an individual's health, lifestyle, food preferences, motivation, environment, and all the other factors that make up the unique individual. If personalised nutrition interests you, it's important that you consult a professional with expertise in both genetics and nutrition. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to know more, make sure you subscribe to my platforms.